All right, let's dive in. We're heading to the Rhone Valley in France. And here's the thing you've got to know about the Rhone. It's not about one superstar grape. No, it's about a whole team, an ensemble cast in a bottle. We're going to get to know all the key players, the grapes, that make these wines so legendary.
I just love this quote. It really paints a picture, right? A family portrait of grapes. And that's the core idea here. Forget about a single-star performer. Rhone wine is all about the blend, about teamwork, about this whole family of grapes working together to create something amazing.
So, that's going to be our theme for this whole journey. Think of it like this. We're casting a movie. The grapes are our actors. We've got our big headliners, the A-listers, Grenache, the total sun worshiper, Syrah, the serious spicy one, and Mourvedre, kind of the dark, mysterious type. But like any great movie, the supporting cast, oh, they are absolutely crucial.
Okay, so before we get to the actors themselves, we need to talk about the stage. Or, in this case, the stages, plural, because the Rhone is split into two completely different worlds that totally change how the grapes perform. You've got the north, and you've got the south.
And I'm telling you, these are like night and day. The north, it's cool, the vineyards are super steep, the soil is granite. It's this dramatic, intense stage where Syrah is the solo act, a really tense, focused performance. But then you go to the south and boom, it's a totally different vibe. It's warm, it's sunny, it's this big Mediterranean amphitheater, just perfect for a huge cast of characters led by Grenache. Honestly, if you remember one thing, remember this north-south split. It's everything.
So we've got these big regional differences, right? But it gets even more granular. Every little top-tier area, they call them crus, has its own specific rulebook. The French term is the cahier des charges, but just think of it as the script. It literally tells the winemakers which grapes they can use and how much of each. It's how they protect the unique style of a place, It's why a wine from Gigondas always tastes like, well, Gigondas.
Okay, showtime. Let's meet the headliners. We're going to focus mainly on the Southern Rhone, because that's where the art of the blend really comes to life. These next three grapes, they're the core of the region's most famous reds. You'll often see them called a GSM blend.
And first up on the call sheet, our leading character, Grenache. If Grenache were a person, you'd want them at your party. They're the sun worshiper, the life of the party, bringing all this warmth and generosity. It's really the heart and soul of the Southern Rhone. So what does it actually do in the wine? Well, Grenache brings the body, that round, full feeling. It brings the alcohol, the warmth, and it brings that beautiful, sunny red fruit flavor. It's the foundation of the blend, and it just thrives in that warm climate. It's the base that everything else is built on.
Okay, so if Grenache brings the party, our next co-star, Syrah, brings the drama. It's got this intense, serious vibe. It adds structure, a bit of savory darkness, and that signature kick of black pepper and spice. Totally different personality.
And this is so cool. Syrah has a split personality depending on where it grows. Up in the cool north, remember that stage? It's tense, it's peppery, all about black currant and smoke. But when you move it down to the warm south, it just chills out. It gets fuller, softer, with these lush plum and sweet spice flavors. See? Same actor, totally different stage, completely different performance.
All right, and to round out our big three, we've got Mourvedre. This is the brooding character actor in the corner, It's not loud, it's not flashy. It brings this deep, savory, almost animalistic quality. It's the backbone, the thing that gives the wine the structure to age for years and years. They call it the structural architect, and for good reason. It's got a ton of tannin and acid, so it adds deep color and these wild, savory notes. Think leather, think earthy forest floor. So let's put it all together in that GSM blend. Grenache is the fleshy body, Syrah is the spice, and Mourvedre is the skeleton holding it all up.
But a movie isn't just about the headliners, right? You need a great supporting cast. And in the Rhone, these other grapes are so important. They add all the little details, the freshness, the nuance. Sometimes they even steal the show. And that goes for both the other red grapes and some really amazing white grapes too.
So let's do a quick rundown of some of the key players. You've got Cinsault, total charmer, it's the star of most rosé. Then there's Carignan, kind of the rugged old traditionalist, adds some nice spice and grip. Counoise is like the secret weapon, just a splash adds amazing freshness. And on the white side, you have Viognier. Oh, it's an absolute aromatic star, super seductive with all these peach and apricot notes. Each one has its own little job to do.
Okay, let's pivot for a second and bring our story right up to today. Because there's a new plot twist for winemakers everywhere. and it's a big one: climate change. But here's what's so wild. It's like the Rhone's traditional cast of grapes has been waiting for this moment. They seem almost perfectly designed for this new reality.
So the big question on every winemaker's mind is this: who can handle the heat? The problem isn't getting grapes ripe anymore, not at all. The real challenge is keeping the wines balanced and fresh when you've got these scorching summers. So, who are the heroes in this new climate story?
And it turns out, a lot of our original cast members are perfect for the role. Grenache and Mourvedre, they love the heat. Old vine Carignan is basically indestructible. And then there's this white grape, Bourboulenc. It's becoming a total superstar because it keeps its fresh acidity even when it gets really hot. So these grapes aren't just about tradition anymore. They're literally the tools for the future of the Rhone.
All right, so we've met our cast of characters, we get the plot, we understand the setting. Now for the fun part. How do you actually drink these wines? Let's take all this info and bring it right to your dinner table.
This is pretty straightforward. Those big, bold GSM reds we talked about, they're amazing with hearty food. Think lamb, stews, grilled steak. The lighter reds and the rosés, perfect for grilled chicken, charcuterie, pizza, basically anything you'd eat on a patio. And for the whites, the fuller ones are a dream with roast chicken, while the crisp, lighter ones are your go-to for fish and salads.
So if you want to put all this into practice, here's your tasting mission should you choose to accept it. 3 glasses. Number 1, find a classic Southern Rhône red, something like a Gigondas or a Carignan, to really taste that GSM blend in action. Number 2, get a bottle of 100% Syrah from the Northern Rhone, like a St. Joseph. You'll immediately feel that cool climate difference. And number 3, hunt down a serious white Rhone blend. It'll show you exactly why there's such an amazing alternative to your usual Chardonnay.
So that's really what it all boils down to. The Rhone is an ensemble cast in a bottle. It's not about one single grape hogging the spotlight. Every bottle is its own little movie, with a unique cast of characters and a script written by the place it came from. So I guess the only question left for you is, which character are you going to get to know first?